Get that gas-guzzling abomination off my pristine water right now. You filthy intruder. The screech pierced the suburban serenity like a chainsaw through butter, echoing across the 60-acre lake that shimmered under the Arizona sun. I throttled down my jet ski, the engine's hum dying to reveal the full venom in her voice, as she stood on her glossy dock like a queen defending her throne. Except this throne was built on stolen ground, and she had no idea the peasant she was berating owned every drop of water she coveted. I wasn't some random joyrider crashing her million-dollar view. No, I'd been knee-deep in the muck of this forgotten basin for months, transforming a dried-up government-seized eyesore into a crystal-clear reservoir. But to Karen Abernathy, self-crowned Empress of Azure Ridge Estates, she saw only a threat to her HOA-enforced utopia. Her light blue power suit, starched to perfection, hugged her frame as she flanked herself with a reluctant deputy, who looked like he'd rather ticket a rattlesnake than deal with her theatrics. "Officer, arrest him. He's polluting our exclusive waters with that." "That machine," she spat, her manicured nails jabbing the air like tiny daggers. I killed the engine completely, letting the jet ski bob gently. The silence amplified her huffing, her face flushing a shade of crimson that clashed horribly with her outfit. Karen thought this lake was her personal infinity pool, an extension of her gated community's brochure promises. Serene views, private access, zero disturbances. But she didn't know the truth. This water wasn't hers. It was mine, or rather, it was federal, and I was its custodian. Years of mapping underground networks for classified ops had taught me to spot hidden aquifers like this one, buried under decades of neglect. I'd bought the parcel at a blind auction where everyone else saw a liability. I saw potential. 6 months of solo grunt work, repairing ancient sluice gates, monitoring levels with laser tech, had turned a mud pit into a thriving 60-acre gem. And now, this HOA harpy was trying to claim it as her backyard perk. As the deputy shuffled forward, adjusting his belt with a sigh, Karen ramped up her performance. "This is Azure Ridge property. Our bylaws prohibit gas-powered anything. It's for the koi fish, the ambience, the property values." She waved a clipboard like a scepter, her voice dripping with that faux concern that only comes from someone who's never lifted a finger for actual conservation. The deputy, a grizzled guy named Harlan, glanced at me with weary eyes. "Sir, got ID? And permission to be out here?" I nodded calmly, fishing out my laminated federal card from my vest pocket. "No drama, no yelling, just facts." "Check the cords, deputy. This basin's a designated federal overflow reserve." "I'm the registered steward." Harlan's eyebrows shot up as he scanned it, the Department of the Interior seal gleaming. He handed it back with a subtle nod. "Ma'am, he's legit. This ain't your HOA pond." Karen's jaw dropped, then snapped shut like a malfunctioning trap. "Impossible. The developer promised exclusive access. I'll have your badge for this incompetence." She stomped her heel, the dock creaking under her fury. Harlan tipped his hat to me. "Have a good day, sir. Maybe ease up on the throttle for peace's sake." As he drove off, leaving her fuming in his dust, I restarted the ski and glided away. But I knew this wasn't over. Karen Abernathy didn't lose arguments. She escalated them. That evening, as I checked the southern levee with my spectrometer, ensuring no microfractures from the wake tests, the whispers started. Azure Ridge's private Facebook group lit up like a bonfire. "That squatter's ruining our views with his noisy toys," one post read, courtesy of Karen's admin privileges. He's probably dumping chemicals. Think of the children. Another chimed in. HOA meeting tomorrow. Petition to fine him out of existence. I scrolled through it all from my shipping container cabin, sipping black coffee, not commenting. Let them rumor mill me into a villain. I'd been labeled worse in my old life: drifter, recluse, even eco-terrorist by those who didn't understand my work. But I observed, noted the patterns. Karen wasn't just annoyed, she was threatened. Her position as HOA president hinged on maintaining that iron-fisted order, and my lake was a wild card she couldn't control. The next morning brought the first real jab. I fired up my truck for a supply run, only to round the bend and slam on the brakes. A shiny new electronic gate barred the dirt access road, my only exit. Black powder-coated steel, emblazoned with Azure Ridge Estates. Members only. Overnight installation, classic Karen move. Swift, sneaky, and utterly ridiculous in a drought-stricken desert where private meant nothing against federal easements. A camera word, tracking me as I approached. Taped to the keypad was an envelope with my name in her loopy, aggressive script. Inside, a faux official HOA citation. Violation: unauthorized motorized disturbance on community-adjacent waters. Fine, $5,000. Access revoked until compliance. I chuckled darkly, the irony biting like the morning chill. Paying to use my own lake? Rage bubbled, but I swallowed it. She wanted a hothead reaction, maybe me ramming the gate so she could cry vandalism. Instead, I popped the truck's hood for show, then grabbed my Pelican case. As an ex-infrastructure engineer for black site projects, I'd bypass tougher security than this off-the-shelf junk. Prying open the control panel, I hooked up my diagnostic tool. System locked. Admin only. The screen blinked. I entered a factory override. Lazy installers never change them. Green light. I triggered the emergency protocol, gates groaning open like reluctant jaws. Driving through, I left it ajar, panel unsecured. Let her puzzle over how the squatter strolled past her fortress. Back at the cabin, I launched my thermal drone for a perimeter sweep. The feed revealed gardeners, pool skimmers, and there, at the clubhouse, Karen on her patio, phone glued to her ear, gesturing wildly. But the Rayall find was lower, a cold blue line snaking down the cliff, buried shallow, bypassing meters, straight into my lake's inlet. My pulse quickened. Not just blocking me, they were siphoning my water. Thousands of gallons daily to feed their infinity pool during a stage 3 drought. This wasn't petty. It was felony theft from a federal reserve. I crunched numbers on my laptop. Pipe size, pump hums I'd heard at night, millions stolen over the year. Greed masked as community enhancement. I needed confirmation. Enter old man Harlan. No. Wait. Alaric, the retired hydrologist hermit down the highway. His airstream reeked of pipe tobacco, but his brain was a water rights encyclopedia. Alaric, look at this thermal printout, I said, slapping it on his rickety table. He squinted through Coke bottle glasses. Vampire tap, son. Bypassing everything. Feeding that gaudy pool up there? I nodded. He whistled. Ain't just theft, tampering with strategic reserves. Why ain't the county on it? I smirked. Because Karen owns the county. Brother-in-law judge. Cousin on zoning. Alaric cackled. Insulated like a thermos. Can't poke from below. Gotta drop the hammer from above. He was spot on. But Karen sensed blood in the water. The next day, while inspecting the levee, a black SUV rolled up, Guardian Elite goons, tactical vests and all. They blocked my path like budget bouncers. Then, a golf cart whirred in. Karen, suit impeccable, smirk triumphant. Mr. Vance, we need to chat. I didn't look up from my notes. Busy. Unless you're reimbursing my gate hacking time. She laughed, brittle and forced. Your land? Please. You're a lucky deed holder squatting on a hazard. Mosquito Central. We're offering to buy at dry value. Pre-flood. I scoffed. Pennies? This is a reservoir now. Her mask cracked. Take it or get buried in lawsuits. I'll claim endangerment. Think of the wildlife. The goons shifted. Hands near tasers. Intimidation theater. I stayed calm. Endangerment? Like stocking invasive koi in a desert ecosystem. She flushed. Irrelevant. Our community standards. I cut her off mildly. Standards that include stealing federal water? Her eyes widened a fraction. Bingo. She knew I knew. But she recovered, signaling her muscle. Escort him off. He's trespassing. The goons advanced, but I held up my phone. Federal land. Boys. Touch me, and it's assault on a custodian. They hesitated. Karen fumed. This isn't over. It wasn't. She doubled down, spreading more smears. Group posts calling me an environmental vandal. Anonymous tips to local news about my suspicious activities. Neighbors avoided eye contact, whispering as I passed. I endured, documenting everything: emails, drone footage, flow logs. Patience was my weapon. When her charity gala loomed, a ticketed boat party on our lake, I knew it was time. Commerce on federal waters? Slam dunk. I compiled the dossier and dialed my old contacts. Interior, EPA, Marshals. The gala day dawned perfect. Ironic, given the storm brewing. Karen's voice boomed over a megaphone from her illegal dock. Welcome to Azure Ridge's annual Serenity Soiree. Tickets scanned. Enjoy our pristine waters. Boats dotted the lake. Music thumping. Guests in yacht attire sipping champagne. She preened in her suit, live-streaming the opulence. This is what community spirit looks like. Protected. Exclusive. I idled my jet ski mid-lake, watching. Then, the chopper thundered in black, federal seal gleaming. Rotors whipped spray as it hovered over the clubhouse. Simultaneously, a convoy of SUVs barreled through the open gate. My gate, tires chewing her precious lawn. Agents poured out. Marshals, EPA, Fish and Wildlife. Music cut. Silence descended like a guillotine. Karen froze, megaphone limp. I motored closer, engine purring. Karen, I called evenly. Her ash-pale face turned. You. What have you done? I tapped my badge. Just called the real owners. Lead Agent Morales stomped down the dock, warrant in hand. Karen Abernathy? Federal seizure for Clean Water Act violations. Resource theft. Illegal commerce. She gaped. This is charity. Morales pointed to the ticket booth. Paid access to federal reserves? Theft via bypass pipes? We've got it all. Plus your stream confessing. Handcuffs clicked. Sharp. Final. You can't. My connections. Morales Mirandized her mid-rant. Suggest you zip it. Ma'am. Your feed's already viral. Guests panicked. boats revving futilely as agents ordered them ashore. Obstruction charges if you bolt, Karen wailed as they marched her up, stumbling in heels. My lawn, my event, an EPA tech shoveled, exposing the tap. Evidence, not landscaping. Her security ditched badges. Hands up, smart move. The raid steamrolled. Clubhouse commandeered. Alaric consulting engineers on the clever but criminal bypass routed through fire suppression. Genius setup. Rotten core, he quipped. Headlines exploded. Luxury HOA busted for million-gallon water heist. The HOA faced $4.2 million in fines, reserves empty from Karen's extravagances. Special assessments hit every mansion, $40,000 per home. The elite fractured. Meetings devolved into blamefests. For sale signs sprouted, but liens scared buyers. Property values tanked. Gates stayed open for remediation crews. 2 months later, in Phoenix federal court, Karen sat deflated in orange, hair limp. Her lawyers flailed, ignorant of pipes, contractor fault. Judge Harlan, no kin, slammed it down. You abused a national resource like a kiddie pool. 5 years for fraud, tampering, conspiracy, plus restitution. Bailiffs let her out. She scanned for saviors, found none. Her board had flipped, testifying for deals. Our eyes met. I nodded once. She flinched. Door shut. Back at the basin, silence reigned, true peace. Alaric whittled on my porch. Ownership, stewardship, not control, he mused. You guarded what mattered. I took the ski out one last time, carving wakes, the roar of victory cry. The cliff's mansions loomed empty, peeling signs a joke. Karen had tried to HOA nature. Nature and feds laughed last. Was Karen Abernathy truly safeguarding her community's standards? Or was she just a power-hungry bully hiding behind bylaws? You tell me, was justice served? Or should HOAs like hers get a free pass?